Alright, what's the crack? Here for GWA week number 7 against Elliot. Um, yeah, we'll see how this goes. This is supposed to be a meme battle, but then Elliot kind of realised that he actually had the chance to make playoffs, so we are like, alright, let's actually swing it for real. Toxic Toad's Cruel, Dunsparce, Houndstone, Floatzel, Rotom are at 6. Pretty much the 6 I was expecting. I was saying to myself I would really love if he wouldn't bring Toxicroak, Toadscruel, and Floatzel, but yeah. The Dunsparce is probably Terra Fairy Spinef for Clowitzer here. I'm actually really worried about Toxicroak. I feel like either Nasty Plot or SD Toxicroak are both really good into me. Pretty much I brought Palossand specifically for Toxicroak. Like, it's really bad into the rest of his team, but I kind of just lose to Toxicroak if I don't bring it. As far as leads, I'm tempted to lead off with Clowitzer to kind of force his Dunsparce to Terra early. I might do that. I was tempted to lead off with Earthworm, but I feel like Clowitzer is fine. It leads well into Floatzel and Rotom, so I like that. Yeah, let's get it. Good luck, have fun, bro. Yeah, like I said, this is pretty much the 6 I thought he would bring, so fairly happy with that at least. Well, not fairly happy, because I do think these are the 6 best ones to bring into me, but at least I should have my my homework done for this one. Alright, we do see a Floatzel lead. So this could be Banded, it could be Orb. If it's Banded, it could just go for an Ice Spinner here. Let me make sure I do live if I Terra Dragon. I'm pretty sure I do. Floatzel Band. We do live a Banded Spinner. And like I said, kind of tearing early and forcing his Dunsparce to Terra is great. Because he didn't bring Berserker either, so there's no resist to Dragon Pulse. And I know taking damage on this thing early is kind of bad, but also it does kind of free up Earthworm, since Earthworm's here mainly for this. So I think I will just Dragon Pulse, kind of try to force in his Dunsparce early. So we don't see a switch. We could see a Flip Turn or a Spinner. Flip Turn will let me scout damage. I do live Banded Spinner, so we should be okay here. Just Flip Turn, okay. That might not be Banded. Oh, it's Orb. Okay. Orb Floatzel. So at least that's pretty easy for Earthworm to wear down. Especially if it starts firing off Wave Crashes. Is there any potential for that to be Adamant? I'll just check his damage in a minute now. Because if he is Adamant and he didn't respect Lycanroc for whatever reason, then at least I know I can pick it off from the Stellar Rock later on. Just kind of outspeed his Aqua Jet. Flip Turn 1 makes sense though, since Earthworm is my fairly obvious pivot. And he doesn't kill with Ice Spinner anyway. So yeah, we should be doing about 50% of this incoming Dunsparce. Nice. About 60 to that. So he's probably just going to Terra Fairy and Roost up here. Do we go to Earthworm? Or do we go to Quillfish? Quillfish could be good. I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't bring Barbarage, but I kind of needed Self-Destruct so that thing wouldn't set up on me. I think Earthworm's the play here. Once I get this thing to Terra Fairy, I did end up switching to Flash Cannon over Ice Beam. I originally had Ice Beam, but I was worried about this thing in particular. So I swapped over to Flash Cannon. I think I will just go hard Earthworm here. I think it's a fairly safe play. Rotom is kind of his best pivot in on this thing. Yeah, does Terra. So I don't have to worry about Rotom going Terra Steel later on, which is good, since we did force this thing to Terra. Yeah, Terra Fairy, makes sense. It was kind of his only Dragon Pulse switching. And we do see a Roost. Perfect. We have him about 95%. I actually could have a shot to 2-shot with Flash Cannon on the next switch, which is nice, especially if I get up hazards. Do I just get up my rocks here and force Toadscruel to spin later? Let's go for some boots. Rocks would mean that this thing is definitely 2 KO'd by a Flash Cannon on the switch, which is great. Rotom is probably coming in here, but do I really mind that? Jolteon's a pretty free switch, and then I force in Toadscruel. I think I will just get up my rocks. Does withdraw. Goes into Rotom. Yeah, makes sense. Like I said, we don't have to worry about this thing going for Terra. We got up our rocks. That'll force Toadscruel in later on to spin. Now we could go hard Jolteon here. Shadow Ball's pretty free. I could try to go Quillfish, but I'd rather keep Quillfish healthy. It is nice for mostly Toxicroak, even though I do have Palossand for that. I think I will just go hard Jolteon here. It's around for this. AV Jolteon was brought mostly for this. Also outspeeds and can check a Nasty Plot Toxicroak. Lives Vacuum Wave. Also for Oricorio, if it did come. D-Bolt, perfect. Shadow Ball is pretty free here. We can get some damage off of Toadscruel, force some info on that. I pretty much go straight back into Earthworm and get off some more chip if he decides to spin. The annoying thing about Toadscruel is that it can start setting up spikes or it can put me to sleep. I do think I'll just fire off a Shadow Ball though. Shadow Ball is pretty free into the team. Withdraws Rotom. Let's scout this Toadscruel damage now. Not boots on Toadscruel, good to know. Shadow Ball does absolutely nothing, so that looks like Spadef, which makes sense. Let me just double check that. Toadscruel. Yeah, Shadow Ball did like, I think, not even like 15%. I think it did like 12%. I do think Earthworm's pretty free here, right? If he spins, I get off Rocky Helmet chip. If he sets up his own spikes, that's annoying, but I can have Heavy Slam for some damage. I'm not really afraid of Rotom coming in. Yeah, I think Earthworm's fine here. I might regret dropping Ice Beam on Cloudwitzer, but we'll see. He does get up his own spikes, that's fair. That's going to be annoying, but it's fine. If he does Spore me, then he's taking big Heavy Slam damage, which I don't think I want to take. I could double out here predicting Rotom. Or I could just stay and take my Heavy Slam damage, which I think I'll do. Kind of scout out this Rotom, see if it's more defensive or offensive. Ooh, Rapid Spin, perfect. So we get some nice chip on this thing. He takes Rocky Helmet chip too, which is great. Beautiful. That makes Jolteon a lot better in the end game. I don't think he'll sack this thing. I could honestly just get back up my rocks. I really lose nothing in this exchange. Like I said, having Toadscruel that chipped is fantastic for the end game. Jolteon looks a lot more cleared up. Looks really good into most of the team besides obviously the Dunsparce. I think I will just get to my rocks. How much would I do to roll them on a heavy slam to see if it's worth it? Roll them. I'm just going nasty plot. 28 to 34, solid chip, but forcing Toad Scroll to spin again isn't nice. So we'll just get him back up. Yeah, but draws Toad Scroll, that's fine. Like I said, I don't really fear Rotom coming out. Houndstone, interesting. This Houndstone is actually very annoying for my team. Houndstone was actually the reason why I was originally no item Palossand, which I'm kind of regretting not doing now. Am I okay with Quillfish getting burned? Am I okay with Quillfish getting burned? Honestly, with Toadscroll so weakened, I think I am. With Toadscroll being so weakened. Because I could try to go Cloudwitzer on a burn, but no, it's not really worth the risk. I think I will just let Quillfish get burned here. I don't really have a better switch in. I really do wish that I was still no item Palossand, but I was really worried about Toxicroak. Yeah, we'll just let Quillfish get burned here. We got our own spikes as well, which is nice. Yeah, just fire off Willow, which is fine. This was a reason why I was actually considering fully special Quillfish, just because I knew this was going to happen. Yeah, Houndstone is pretty annoying for my team, but it's fine. I think I'll just get up a spike here. Again, like forcing chip damage on Toadscroll is great. So if that thing has coming to spin, then I'm fine with that. Straight into Toxicroak. Fair, fair. No, he could knock. He could knock. Would he be special since he brought this thing straight in? Palossand is around mostly for this thing, and if I do get knocked, then that actually means that I can check Houndstone now. So I think I'm actually fine with just going hard on the Palossand. I do the +2 knock. If he's special, I can check it with Jolteon. So we'll see now. Knock. Yeah, that's fine. That did about 80. No orb. Palossand to Toxicroak. Knock. That might not be max attack. Oh, I know that's orb. Sorry, that's orb. On the calc. Yeah, this looks like a regular high roll. He could be adamant as well. That's something to keep in mind. He could be adamant. No, I don't want to fire off a Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball's pretty free. I think I just want to shore up, to be honest. Keep this thing healthy for Toxicroak later on. It is nice I can check Houndstone now as well. Alright, swaps out into Dunsparce, yeah, that's fine. I think I'm going to take spikes and rocks, very nice. And we can just shore up. Now, what would this thing have? Coverage wise. It is pretty annoying for me to break. This thing could be like Calm Mind. Although if you spit Def, it's more likely that's probably Coil. If it is Coil, it's kind of a pain. How much does my Sludge Bomb do to this thing? Oh shit. Yeah, I'll just fire off a Sludge Bomb here. Flamethrower. Oh yeah, he tried to catch Earthworm. It doesn't do much, but I have a chance for a poison, which is nice. And like I said, kind of pressuring this thing, I'm absolutely fine with. Sludge Bomb was mainly here for Shiftry, but it's working out in this situation anyway. That Flamethrower didn't do much at all. So he's Flamethrower. So probably the thing I have to fear the most is like an Ice Beam. Ice Beam doesn't do too much. And I am pressuring him with the chance to poison. He's probably just going to Roost up here. If I can use up his Roost, that'd be nice as well. I could just make the Orthorn switch now. Since he's in a position where he kind of has to Roost. Or I could just Sludge Bomb again. I think I'll just Sludge Bomb again, try to poison this thing. Start using up his Roost. No poison. I don't think he really has room for setup on this set. Withdraws into what? Toadscruel. Did this thing die? No. Maybe after the spike. But that does mean that I can go into Earthworm on the spin. Okay, it does die. Beautiful. Alright, Toadscruel gone, Hazards are here to stay. Which is amazing. And yeah, he kind of does struggle with this Palossand now. It's really only Rotom that can actually deal with it. And Floatzel, sorry. I actually forgot about Floatzel. But between Hazards and Rocky Helmet, we're going to wear this thing down really fast. Am I 2 KO'd after the Hazards by Wave Crash? I'll basically take this Floatzel down with me though, which I'm fine with. And now that Toadscruel is gone, I kind of don't need Earthworm as much, so I'm fine with just going Earthworm here. Getting my chip damage off. Alright. Take spikes. Flip turn. Okay, Floatzel's getting worn down, which is fantastic. Takes another round of Orb. Beautiful. So it's about 40% now. It's going to take 24 on the next entry. So one more Rocky Helmet round, and then we'll actually have that thing dead. Which is amazing. Goes back out to Rotom. That's fine. Now that I've shown Jolteon as my switch, I think he might even just fire for Shadow Ball here. I don't really need Quillfish. Because now that I've lost my Culver Berry, Palossand kind of really just walls the shit out of his Houndstone. So yeah, I think I'm fine with just going Quillfish here. I don't think he'll Shadow Ball again since I've shown Jolteon as my switch. So he'll thing. Although I do take Shadow Ball very handily. Like this Jolteon is EV to take 2+2 Shadow Balls. He might actually just Nasty Plot. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna go Jolteon in case he Nasty Plots. Although, do I really fear that? Yeah, I'll go Jolteon in case he Nasty Plots. Shadow Ball, it's fine. That did about 60. Yeah, that seems like fairly standard Rotom damage. Honestly, Volt Switch is pretty free. I don't think I'll stay in on a Shadow Ball, so I do think Volt Switch is kind of the play here. Although, do I really need to? No, I actually don't really need to. I can just really Shadow Ball, to be honest. In case he does try to get risky and stay in. Because even if he goes Dunsparce, then I can just Volt Switch after. Yeah, withdraws Rotom. Like I said, these hazards are going to be huge. Dunsparce comes back out. That's fine. We kind of have this thing in the situation now where it's kind of forced to roost. So yeah, I think Volt Switch is fine here. Do I Volt Switch into Earthworm and risk that? Considering it is my best way to kill Floatzel at the moment. Maybe T-Bolt would have been a roll to kill. I didn't think it was actually a roll to kill from that range. We could actually go Lycanroc and fire off a Stone Edge. Or go back out to Palisand. I think back out to Palisand is fine. We're forcing this thing to use up more roosts, which is fine. It's going to be number 3. Because I don't want to go Earthworm in case he does try to call that with a Flamethrower. Is Sludge Bomb still the play here? Maybe. He doesn't 2-kill me with anything. I could fire off a Shadow Ball in case he tries to get risky and go Rotom. I don't think he will, but it's a possibility. No, I'll just fire off Sludge Bomb. Shadow Ball. So it is Shadow Ball, not Ace Beam. I did about 100. No Spit F drop is nice. Can we get a poison? Damn. Alright, we'll just show her up here. Shadow Ball. Damn, that did a lot more. And Spit F drop. I might just go hard Lycanroc here. I think. Because I do kind of want to put some pressure on this thing. Yeah, I think I'll just go hard Lycanroc here. I am looking very weak to Toxicroak at the moment, though. I am looking very weak to Toxicroak at the moment. Yeah, we'll just go Lycanroc here. Because I need to start putting some pressure on this thing. There's Roost. That's Roost number 5, I believe. Like I said, this thing doesn't one-shot me. I'm fine just firing off Stone Edge. I actually have a shot to 2-kill Houndstone on the way in. If he does go that. So Stone Edge is pretty free. As long as we land. It draws. Into Houndstone. Very nice. Can we land? Very nice. Ooh, nasty crit. Nasty crit. I mean, like I said, I 2-shot with Stone Edge anyway. So, really all that does is mean that I can probably click Psychic Fangs to do this. Although even then I'm not too sure. Lichen Rock. To Hellstone. Keep defensive. Actually, Psychic Fangs doesn't even take it out from there. Guaranteed. Damn, so I still have to cook Stone Edge. Oh, that's rough. Oh, that's rough. Do I actually risk this? Do I risk this? Fuck it, we bolt. Nice. Alright, Hellstone down. Nice. Alright, Hellstone down. Floatzel comes back out. So yeah, after his next attack, Floatzel is dead. My Orthworm switch is very obvious here. He might just call that, but even if he does, I don't really fear much besides like Toxicroak. Let's make my Orthworm switch here. He should be faster than me, which means he didn't double. Aqua Jet. Went for Aqua Jet. Interesting. Okay, so Floatzel's dead to Rocky Helmet. Like I said, Toxicroak is kind of like the main threat now. If I can get Palossand healthy, then Toxicroak isn't really much of an issue. But that all depends on me actually getting it healthy. Because I could definitely see a world where I'm reverse swept by that thing. Like, if Toxicroak comes out here, yeah, it does come out. Okay. I think I pretty much have to attack. I can't let this thing get him a free SD. I pretty much have to attack. To Toxicroak. He's Drain Punch. I think I actually have a shot to live. But yeah, I can't let this thing get a free SD, so I'm just going to click Earthquake. Yeah. Goes for SD. EQ should do about 60. Nice. Now, is this thing Drain Punch? Is this thing Drain Punch? Does my Palossand have a hit from that range after a spike? I actually do live. So I think I'll find second Warthorn here. It's Drain Punch. Okay. So that recovery is going to be mitigated by Rocky Helmet at least. Palosan does guarantee live and knockoff. Wait, that's what my Culverberry. Oh no, oh no. I actually die. Ooh, so might have to do some intimidate shuffling with Quillfish. Oh, this is gonna be rough. This is gonna be rough. I think I have to hope that Lycanroc says Solorock kills. This is really rough. Does Jolteon live? No. I think I boom in case he tries to SD again. I think that might be the play, unfortunately. This Toxicroak is very rough. I knew I was going to have a tough time with it. Drain Punch is a good bring. Yeah, I think I just boom. In case he tries to SD again. Yeah, okay. Got him on that at least. Got him on that at least. Because pretty much all I had to do was pretty much all I had to do was drop this thing down to +1, and then Palosan was able to live. Alright, threat neutralized. Threat neutralized. Now, do we just go out to Jolteon, or do we go out to Palosan? I could go out to Lycanroc. I think actually Lycanroc is a good drop. Because I believe I one-shot Rotom. To Rotom. Yeah, I do take out Rotom. So yeah, I'll go Lycanroc. Out comes Dunsparce. No, I do kind of need to land this. Otherwise, this Dunsparce gets pretty annoying. I kind of have to start shuffling around because the Spidef drops on Palosan are going to be kind of annoying. We do land, beautiful. And he does just Roost. Okay, at least we're wearing out his Roost. That's number 6, I believe. I really should have been keeping track. Yeah, like I said, if I can wear out this thing's Roost, then I'm actually fine with that. And I have a chance to crit. Roost. Number 7, I believe. Stone Edge miss. That's fine. Roost. I think that's the last one. I think that's the last one. So we'll just fire for another Stone Edge. Jolteon always checks Rotom, so this is really the main issue. Another Stone Edge miss. Unfortunate. Shadow Ball, I don't think it kills. Yeah. So left drop doesn't really matter, next one will kill anyway. Can we land this one? We do, nice. Alright, so Dunsparce is at half. Body Slam. Okay, so he's Roost, Flamethrower, Body Slam, Shadow Ball. Okay. Does Water Pulse kill from that range? From Clawitzer? Dunsparce. 5-2. It's annoying that you don't actually have a fucking Dunsparce set on things like on Pokemon damage calculator to enter it in manually. He doesn't one-shot me, but I could get paralyzed by Body Slam, which is kind of annoying. Clawitzer. Water Pulse is not KO. But 2 will take it out, and it puts it in range of Jolteon, which is all I need. And I know he doesn't have Terra Blast, so it's literally just Body Slam Max Fear. Flash Cannon does kill, but I didn't really know when doing that. Well, it has a shot to kill, even though it's a roll. So yeah, we'll just fire off Water Pulse. Body Slam. Do we dodge it? We do dodge it. Very nice. Alright, so Clawitzer is going to be able to pick off Dunsparce here. And pretty much all I have to do is just stay in and attack Rotom. And then Jolteon can pick it off. Because all I have to do is make sure this thing doesn't get up a nasty flop for free. Rotom. I actually have a pretty good chance of living this if he's not modest, which is cool. So we'll just fire up Water Pulse here. Shadow Ball. We do live. Alright, so Clawitzer going to be able to close it out. Very nice, very nice. Got a bit sketchy with that fucking Toxicroak. I knew it was going to though. GG's Elliot, really good game. He's kind of been struggling with this team, but kind of joined in late in the season, so shook. That pretty much sinks us for playoffs anyway, so yeah, I suppose we'll see you next game now.